Hello, my name is Hidayat Greenfield, and I'm the elected regional secretary of the IUF in the Asia Pacific region. The IUF is a global union federation of food workers, and you are members of the IUF. And I'm very pleased to say that when I say I'm elected regional secretary, it doesn't just mean that I represent you, it means that I serve you. And in serving you, I want to talk a little bit about our approach and what we do. And I'll use our slogan from the IUF Congress in 2012 to capture, I think, very well the spirit of our union. And that slogan is organize, fight, and win. That was adopted 13 years ago. And I'm proud to say that in the past 13 years in the Asia Pacific region, we have been organizing, fighting, and winning. We've been winning secure permanent jobs for casual contractual workers, and that's lifted those workers and their families out of poverty, out of hardship, into a better life. And that's been a huge achievement, and they make fantastic union members today. We've also had tremendous success in fighting for more women to be recruited, hired, promoted, to get into the better skilled jobs with better pay in our fight for gender equality and women's rights. And that's been a success across the Asia Pacific region. Even in countries where you would think that is very, very tough, we've actually made more progress. We've also had success in fighting to eliminate, to stop sexual harassment. That fight is far from over. Just like the fight against bullying, sexual harassment and bullying in the workplace remains a huge problem, and we continue to fight against that. But we have won case over case over case, not through legal means, not through lawsuits, but in organizing, fighting, and winning through the union, and making sure that everyone is guaranteed a safe workplace, a workplace with dignity and respect, and that's very important. We've also been organizing in the sense of workers for the very first time forming a union in their workplace, winning union recognition, and negotiating collective agreements in workplaces where employers really tried to stop workers from exercising that fundamental human right, didn't want workers to be in a union, didn't want workers to combine together and build their collective power to negotiate and to be able to sit across that table, look them in the eye as equals, and negotiate for change and improvement in their conditions. It sounds like a very simple thing, but it's huge, especially when the employer, backed by the government, doesn't want you doing that. And so, again, organizing, fighting, and winning, tremendous wins across the Asia Pacific region over the last 13 years in building those unions and winning collective agreements for the first time and implementing those agreements. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about the terminology, because organize, fight, and win. Fight. There's different ways to fight. Obviously, when I say fight, what comes to mind is picket lines, strikes, and protests. But actually, there's a spectrum of fighting. It depends on the employer, not us. If the employer respects workers' human rights, if the employer is a decent employer, then our fight is across the negotiating table. We're negotiating, we're resolving grievances, we're defending the rights and interests of our members every single day, which is our responsibility, and we're making sure that our members have a safe workplace, they can work with dignity, they're fairly treated, and they get a fair share of the company's, the business profits in terms of a fair wage. And that kind of fight, it's a real fight, because you have to be well mobilized, you have to be able to negotiate and win those negotiations as well. That's a fight. It's also a fight when there are incidents of racism, sexual harassment, bullying. Well, that's a fight too. We have to tackle that. We have to identify the individuals involved, and we have to make it stop, and then we have to protect everyone from that. That's a fight. And so it's a whole spectrum from negotiations, talking, right across to industrial action, picket lines, and campaigns. All of that is some form of fight. Now, again, you choose the kind of fight in response to the pressure we're getting and the reaction from the employers. So ultimately, it's the employers that will decide how hard we fight. If they treat our members badly, if they disrespect us, if they harass and bully and victimize our members, of course, it will escalate that fight. And yes, we'll be on the picket line. And yes, we'll be taking every action that's needed to restore the dignity, fairness, fair treatment of our members in that workplace for the benefit of themselves, but also their families. I hope that's clear about fight. Now, here's the question. Organize, fight, and win. Will we always win? No. We can't guarantee that. We can't always guarantee we'll win. Now, in some cases, in very difficult workplaces, our members actually say where they're facing a very aggressive employer who's really bullying them, really attacking them, our members will say in certain countries, the very fact that we're fighting means we're winning. Because through that fight, we're restoring our dignity, we can look up, we can raise our eyes with some sense of dignity, and that means we're winning. We haven't given up. And I'm very proud of those members and their courage in those situations. But generally, can we guarantee we'll win? No. But what we can guarantee, 100%, is that if we don't fight, we won't win. When we talk about organize, I just want to be clear about that first part. Now, organize doesn't mean you recruit people or sign them up and stick them in the union. Organize means our members are aware and care. They're aware of the issues and they care about the issues. They're aware of what's happening to our fellow workers. They're aware of what's happening to women workers. They care. They want to stop the discrimination. They want to stop the unfair treatment. And they act in solidarity, which is basically compassion. And all of us, in some way, in all of our religions, in all of our spiritual beliefs, have a sense of compassion. And so just acting on that. I think it's very human, but unfortunately, we live in very tough times, and it's very difficult to find that compassion in the workplace and in society. But that's what we do. Acting on compassion, caring about each other, taking care of each other, intervening, combining together to protect each other from these abuses. And that's really it. Organizing, yes, you're in the union, but you have to be aware and care. Now, I think that all sounds obvious to many of you, but there's another approach, there's an alternative to organize, fight, and win. And that is mobilize, vote, and wait. There is an approach in the trade union movement, which is to mobilize workers to vote for a political party, and then everything will come from that. The problem with that is that then workers' power, the collective power we have as workers, is seasonal. They only need you when the election comes around. In between that, no one cares, and that's when we really suffer. And the problem is the wait. Organize, vote, and wait. I think anyone that's telling you to wait doesn't understand how hard it is out there. They don't understand the cost of living crisis. They don't understand the debt. And they don't understand the sense of failure that you're feeling when you look around and think, how can I make sure my children have a better life than this? And that possibility is being cut away each and every day that we're getting smashed on our wages and benefits and our conditions and job security. And I think what unites my members across 21 countries, all different cultures, all different religions, all different languages, all different sectors, from farms to factories to hotels, is the desire, the hope that our children will have a better life than this. I think it's very reasonable, and yet that hope is fading. And our union, through organizing, fighting, and winning, creates that hope. Not a promise, not like political parties that promise and break their promises. We create hope through your power. And through that, we will bring about change. So I think it's very important. We have two choices: organize, fight, and win, mobilize, vote, and wait. I think we can't afford to wait. I think it's hard out there, and we have to fight to improve the conditions at work, the wages, the benefits. We have to tackle all of these challenges that our members face and their families face, and make sure that you can ensure a better life for you and your families now, and a better future for your children. As your elected regional secretary, that is my responsibility, and I serve you. Let's organize, fight, and win.